So if you're watching this video, it probably means that you already know that paid advertising can be a fabulous way to generate leads for your music school. Or maybe you're considering it and you're looking for a way to just simply get some more enrollments. But you know that paid advertising, if not done right, can be like taking your hard-earned dollars and dumping them into the trash can. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through this right here. This is our music school ROI calculator that will show you how we personally use this calculator to understand profitability for the music schools we work with around the country of upwards of over 1,000 active students. So I'm going to walk you through this here. So when you're running paid ads, or if you're working with a company on paid ads, you can understand how much do I need to spend to hit my goals? How do I make sure that I'm making money, more money than I'm spending, even after factoring in costs? And how long will it take for me to break even? And especially answer this one question: how much money do I need to spend on paid ads? We're going to answer that in this video. So go ahead, bear with me. We're going to jump into this calculator right now and get those questions answered for you. Okay, you are looking at the music school ROI calculator, but how do you use this? So the first thing I want to draw your attention to is over here on the right-hand side where it says update these numbers. This is where you're going to be putting most of your time and attention. And in this video, I'm going to be walking through how to get each of these numbers and what they mean. The first one you want to look at is cost per lead. If you're running Facebook or Google ads or wherever you're running your paid advertising, you should be able to know how much am I spending in advertising dollars and how many leads am I getting in return. If you don't have this number readily available, you want to stop what you're doing and go make sure that you set this up utilizing the Facebook pixel. And you also want to be utilizing the campaign objective as leads. You do not want to be paying Facebook strictly for traffic and link clicks being the main objective. That's not going to get you what you're looking for. So get this number here. We find that the industry average is around $15 per lead. We've seen as low as $5. We've seen as high as $25, $30. But this is about an average that you can go off of for the example's sake here. The next number you want to look at is lead to trial percentage. So this is for every lead that comes in, what percentage of them actually book a trial. So if I get 100 leads, 20 of them book a trial, I have a 20% lead to trial percentage, about the average that we've seen. We've seen higher or lower, but that's the number that we're going to go with here in this example's sake. Next thing you want to do, and by the way, you want to get the real numbers for your music school, not just using the examples that I'm sharing here, because there's some schools that have a lower cost per lead, but they also have a lower lead to trial percentage. There's some that have a higher cost per lead, but they convert a whole lot more of them. It just depends on your scenario and your market. So make sure that you're putting in your true numbers here. The next number you want to get is trial to enrollment percentage. In this case, it's for every person that comes in for a trial, what percentage of them actually enroll. So let's say you get 10 trials booked and I put 65% here, but let's say 6 of them enroll. That would be a 60% trial to enrollment percentage. In this case, we're going to go with 65%. Then you have average monthly tuition. So if you're like most schools, you probably have like a 30-minute weekly option, a 60-minute weekly option, and there's different tiers. In this case, you just want to get the average. It's not going to be perfect, but you don't want to go too high. You don't want to get too low. You just want to find the middle average. And a good way to calculate this is look at your monthly recurring income and the total headcount that you have, and go monthly recurring income divided by headcount equals your average monthly tuition. That'll get you pretty close. The next number you want to get is your average months active. How long does a student stay enrolled in your music school on average? A great way of doing this is pulling up your current students and creating a sheet of their start date and the current date and how long they've been active. Now you're going to have some students who have been active for a certain period of time, but they're still going. There's going to be some that started and also stopped. You want to get an average. We found 18 months is a good starting point, but again, some schools are longer, some are shorter. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because when somebody enrolls in classes, you're not just making $200 on them. Yeah, right now you are, but there's a good chance this student is going to stay enrolled for a year, 18 months, 3 years, 5 years. It just depends. And that's what calculates that person's lifetime value. And the number that we're calculating here is average lifetime value. Another way of saying that is, on average, how much is each student that enrolls in classes worth to us? Okay, so in this case, it's 200 times 18 equals 3,600. But we know that when students join a program, they cancel for different reasons, whether it's just losing interest, whether it's a competing program, maybe it's another activity, or they're getting involved in sports and things of that nature, and we lose students. And that's where churn comes into play. Churn is the average percentage of students that you're losing each month to cancellations. In this case, we're going to go with 4%, but you want to make sure that you get your own numbers. Now, how does this play a part in the overall grand scheme of your music school? Well, now I want to draw your attention over here, where we're going to show you how these numbers actually work out in real play and how you can understand how much you need to invest to fill your classes, and also what your return on investment is and how long it's going to take for you to actually get cash on cash positive. So over here on the left-hand side, you're going to fill in your ad spend for that month. So let's say you decide to start at, let's say $1,000 first month. You're going to make an investment. I know for so many music schools, this is a big chunk of change, but you're investing in the growth of your school and you're hoping to make back more than you spent. So for $1,000, you got 67 leads. How did we get this? Well, if you take out your calculator and you go 1,000 divided by 15 is 66.66, which we rounded up to 67. So this is automatically calculated as your total ad spend divided by your cost per lead is the number of leads that you're going to get. I'm going to pay 1,000 and I'm going to get 67 leads. Awesome. Now, we all know that some leads will ghost you. Some will tell you they're going to wait till the fall. Some will, just not respond at all, as I said. But we know that on average, we get 20% of our leads to respond, and we're expecting that. We don't need 100% of our leads to respond to be able to be positive. We just need the 20% in this scenario. And we also want to be realistic. So you take your 67 times that by 20%, and you got 13 on, the closest number there. So we spent $1,000, and based off of these numbers, we should have gotten 13 trials. But we also know that every trial that comes in doesn't enroll as a student. So this is where that 65% comes in. So 13, 65% equals 9 new enrollments. Great job. Now, I got 9 enrollments. I spent $1,000. Am I really even making any money at this point? So this is where the rest of the numbers come into play. So for 9 new enrollments, the lifetime value generated is actually $31,200. And you're probably like, wait. How is that even possible? Well, you just have to run the numbers. So we did a calculation earlier where 18 times 200 over here equals $3,600. That's how much a student is worth to us during the duration of their time. 3,600 times 9 comes to 32,400. Now, this lifetime value on this sheet is based off of the decimal placement, which is why mine is a little bit higher. But still, even in this scenario, $31,200. Spent $1,000, and over the next 18 months, we're going to make $31,200 back. But I also understand that when you're a small music school, waiting 18 months to see a return just doesn't make sense. You might be living month to month, or you just want to make sure that you're getting a quicker return. So how does the rest of the numbers work out? Well, the new monthly recurring revenue is 9 new enrollments times $200 equals $1,733. Again, this is based off of decimal placements, which is why it's not a fully rounded number. $733 is what you've added in monthly recurring revenue for your school. So your monthly recurring total, month 1, $1,733. And also, since we're month 1, we haven't lost any students yet. So we spent $1,000, we made $1,733. Now, keep in mind, we also put here agency fee. If you're paying a marketing agency to manage the ads for you, that's a cost to be considered. If you're not, you can just put this as 0, or you could put a value to your time. Whether that's time taking pictures, that's time writing copy, that's your time being in here. Even if it doesn't have an intrinsic cost to the business, it's also something good to be added. So in this case, let's put $500. Let's say you're managing the ads yourself, but you're also taking a salary from the business, which means you made a cash-on-cash return of $233, and in total, you've made $233. Now, you might be thinking, well, David, I have to pay my teachers, I have to pay rent, I have to pay overhead. $1,733, let's say I have a 50% cost. I've actually lost money on this, so it doesn't make sense for me to keep running ads. Well, you have to understand two things: lifetime value, and you also have to understand that monthly recurring revenue is stacked. It's not a one-time cost. So to paint a better picture of this, let's jump to month number 2. So in month number 2, let's say you decided, I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to spend another $1,000 on advertising. So you generate another 67 leads, 13 trials, 9 enrollments, another $31,000 in lifetime value, and another $1,733 in monthly recurring revenue. Now, keep in mind that the monthly recurring revenue from last month, the 9 new students you got, they carry over into this month after factoring in a little bit of churn. So now your monthly recurring revenue total is actually $34.67. And after factoring in the 4% churn, you're at $33.97. So you spent another $1,000 this month, but now you made back $3,300. And let's say you factor in another $500 in cost. Your cash-on-cash return this month is $18.97, and your accumulated return for month 1 and month 2 is $21.31. Okay, now we're on to something here. But you decided, let's slow things down a little bit. Let's slow things down. And month 3, I just want to invest $500. So you got 33 leads, 7 trials, 4 enrollments, $15,600 in lifetime value, $867 in monthly recurring revenue was added. But now, even after factoring in churn, you're up to $41.95 in monthly recurring revenue after churn. So while in month 1, you might have even lost money, you're now stacking enrollments on top of each other. You're going from 9 to 18 to 22 and so forth, and you have a scalability plan in front of you. And what you can see here is if you keep factoring in, let's say, you know what, we decided just to keep spending $500 a month, but all of the numbers over here have stayed the same. And remember, this calculator is only as good as the numbers right here on your screen are for your business. If these change or if they're inaccurate, you're going to find that there's leaks in the number flow, and you might even be making more than you thought, or you could be making less than you thought, and we don't want that because you're spending a lot of money on advertising here, and you want to make sure that your numbers add up. So let's say you keep going with $500 every single month, and on month 8, still $500, but look at this. Even after churn, you made $8,300 a month in stacked revenue strictly from the leads that came from these paid ads, but you're only spending $500. So this is the way that you can grow a school profitably, but also predictably. Because when you have a system like this going where you're paying money for advertising, you're paying Mark Zuckerberg at Meta, you're paying Google, or whatever platform it is, it doesn't matter. You know your numbers, and now you look at this like a machine where it's, I'm going to find every dollar I can to put into advertising because I know that when I look at my sheet here, I'm making a return from it. This is how the best music school owners think about their business and how they think about their marketing. So if you want to get access to this sheet, I'm going to be linking it below. You can copy it and use it for your business. And also, if you're looking for a team to help you with your music school's marketing, help you create the ads, help you with the system, help you understand these numbers, and actually run the campaigns for you, feel free to also click the link below to book a consultation with our team. We would love to connect with you and get to know you just a little bit better. So that's it for now. My name is David Nipps. We love at Nipps Media helping music schools grow their business profitably, predictably, and with ease. And I look forward to meeting many of you on the flip side.